Here is my 2008 American Standard Champion 4 versus my 2015 Kohler Highline Class 5. As you can see here, they're both comfort height and elongated. On the tank, the fill valve is replacement, the flush valve is original, the tank bolts and seals are original, and the handle is original. That is it for this one. And for the Kohler, we have the original handle, original Aquapiston, original tank bolts, and same replacement fill valve, just like the other toilet. Alright, let's see how they flush and see which one you like better. I also like both toilets and flushes. They're pretty cool. But let's see which one does better on the tests. Before we do the tests, one weird thing I've noticed about the Aquapiston with that little hole right there is without putting the little hose from the fill valve in there, watch what happens while I flushed. You see how many drops that was? That's weird. The first test we're gonna start with is 8 golf balls. Looks like it took it. Now let's try to Class 5. Looks like both of toilets took them all. So it's a tie. We're gonna double up to 16 golf balls. Here is 16 golf balls for 2 toilets. Which one will do better? Let's see how it does. Wow, that took a lot like nothing, which I was not expecting that. Let's see how it does on a Class 5. I think it took most of it, which is wow. So it's a tie. But what if we double up to 32 golf balls? Alright, before I say 32 golf balls, do you guys remember for the video of the Toto Drake versus the Water Ridge for golf balls? Go check that video out before you see this flush for 32 golf balls on the Champion 4 versus the Class 5. Alright, let's see how it flushes. 3, 2, 1. Oh my word. That did way better than both Toto Drake and Water Ridge toilets that I did 3 years ago, which is wowzers. Alright, let's see how the Class 5 does. If it does better or worse than the Toto Drake and the Water Ridge. Oh boy. 32 golf balls on the Kohler Class 5. Let's see if it does better or if it does worse than these 2 toilets I've tested 3 years ago. Holding down the handle. Okay, so it did clog up for a second, but somehow it took all 32 golf balls. I thought I would leave it behind, as you saw, if it was clogging up. I'm gonna go up to 60, but we're gonna save it for later because that's enough for golf balls. We're gonna do different tests. But anyway, that is a tie, which is wow. Hey look, the Cockroach is back to witness the epic flush of 2 toilets for 200 cockroaches for the American Standard toilet. And the Kohler. I remember I did that to the Toto. And I remember said, there's cockroach on the Toto. Right now there's cockroach on the American Standard and Kohler. Anyway, let's dump these out. I remember it can get stuck at the outlet, but let's see how the Champion 4 does. We're gonna hold down the handle. And it took them all. As the Champion 4 took all of that, how about a Class 5? Get them in there a little bit so it can have a chance. Holding down the handle. Took them all on the Class 5 as well. Nice. So both toilets won, but it's a tie. Now to the next test. The next test we're doing is we're gonna do a ball rinse test, and this is called Sawdust because I don't have dirt everywhere, so I'm gonna use Sawdust for ball rinse and see how that works. So I don't put too much clumps on there. I put a smaller bin instead of the big one because that's gonna be messy. Get in the water line. Alright, let's see how it does. I will not hold down the handle. Let's see how the rinse is. It left a spot here. Overall, it didn't do too bad. It did leave some stuff in the bowl, but I've seen worse. So, did pretty okay. Now let's see how it does on Class 5. Once again, this is Sawdust, not dirt, because there is no dirt everywhere. And it's not sticking as much as the Champion 4 did. So I'm gonna try my best to not have thick clumps to like make it like bad ball rinse. But I'm just trying to make it not have thick clumps. Alright, let's see how it does. Press and release. So, this did worse than the Champion 4. It left that in the back, left some here, but I think that's a bit thick, and left some in the front. So, this did worse than the Champion 4. So I'm gonna give a win to a Champion 4 for a bowl rinse test. I'll be back for a next test after I clean these toilets up. The next test we're doing, 12 paper towels, but let's hold down the handle. Well, took it. Let's see how it does on class 5. That clearly did not do as well as the Champion 4, but as you saw here, it was trying to take it, and it is clogged. I'm gonna give it a second flush. Flush 2. Let's see if it unclogs itself. Looks like it's trying to move. You know, I'm gonna give it a third flush after the tank is full. Flush 3. Looks like it's moving. Oh. Come on. And it's a struggling pass. But, well, the Champion 4 took it in one flush. And the Class 5, quite a bit of flushes. So, definitely, Kohler Class 5, not good. And the Champion 4 did great. Now to the next test. The next test we're doing is a grocery bag and the microfiber towel. This is a new grocery bag with no holes poked in it, so it might do a little bit worse, but we shall see. Here it goes. Well, that definitely took it. Just barely. Let's see how it does on a Class 5. Here's that gurgle. And that's enough gurgling, and the tank is full already. Here's another flush. Looks like it took it from the toilet, but it got stuck in the pipes. So, ignoring that, the Champion 4 took one flush, and the Class 5 took 2 flushes. So, Champion 4 has won that test. For the next test, let's see if it can take this. A wrapper, some thick fabric, some paper towels, and some gloves. Let's see how it does. I'm gonna hold down the handle just in case if it gets stuck. Alright, let's see the bin. It took some of it, but not all of it. I bet that bottle is stuck in the trapway or in the pipes. I'll give it another flush just to make sure. Bottle came out, so that means it wasn't stuck in there. So let's try the Class 5. Looks like it took all of it. So I'm gonna give a class 5 a win on that test because that Champion 4 left the bottle in the trapway. So anyways, next test. For the next test, let's see if it can take a plastic ball. I'm gonna look close to it to see if it takes it. But I think it took it from the toilet, but it's stuck in the pipe. As I flushed it again, it was flushing fine. So that means the plastic ball was stuck in the pipes. Let's see how the class 5 does. That's a funny sound. It's weird how it gurgles like that. It's so hilarious. After the tank is full, I'm gonna give it a second flush. Flush 2. Wow, I just splashed a toilet with a plunger. Well, let's see if it flushes now, since I fixed it with splashing. It just instantly backed up. And here goes the gurgle. So, pretty satisfying. It just like backed up with no hesitation. Champion 4 wins that test, and a class 5 clogged on that. The next test is a tie and some plastic wrapper. Looks like it took it from the toilet. Let's see how it does on a class 5. Looks like it did the same thing as the Champion 4. So that's basically a tie. Now to the next test. Alright, here's a huge test that I've not done before, or if only done to Kohler Cimarron class 6 or either the class 5. But let's see how it does. I'm gonna hold down the handle. Wowzers! Well, it did struggle a little bit, but considering how huge that load is, that is pretty impressive. Let's see how it does on a class 5. Well, again, this is a huge test. Only 1 or 2 toilets can take that. I think that's gonna jam it. Every time I pull this out, it unclogs itself and it has a really deep gurgle. Well, the Champion 4 has won the test, considering it took it. Now to the next test, and for the final one. I tried my best to find all 60 golf balls, but let's try 50. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here is 50 golf balls. I'm gonna hold down the handle and see if it takes all of that. I think only a few of them came out. Only 6 are in the bin. I'm gonna give it a second flush after the tank is full. Alright, 50 golf balls on the American Standard Champion 4, flush 2. Oh, so close. I'll give it another flush after the tank is full. 50 golf balls on American Standard Champion 4, flush 3. 28 out of 50 golf balls are in the bin. Let's see if it can take the rest of it. It did leave 2, but it did take most of it. I guess it took it in 3, sorta. I would have given another flush if it can take those 2. Here's a flush on half a tank. 3, 2, 1. Well, this is flush 4, sorta. So the Champion 4 took 4 flushes. Let's see how the Class 5 does, and see how many flushes it can take for 50 golf balls. Alright, here is 50 golf balls on the Kohler Highline Class 5. Before I flush it, pause the video and comment how many flushes it's gonna take. Alright, let's see how it flushes. I'm gonna hold down the handle. So that was the first flush, and it only took 5. I'm gonna wait for that tank to fill up, and I'm gonna give it a second flush. Flush 2 for 50 golf balls on the Kohler Highline Class 5. Yeah, I don't think it's moving anywhere. And now there's 10 golf balls in the bin. It's not taking as much as the Champion 4. And I think that is because the Champion 4 has more rim jets and a larger siphon jet and trapway that can take more of these golf balls. And then the Class 5, the trapway is still large, but not as large as the Champion 4. But due to a little bit smaller of the trapway and how weaker the flush, sometimes it cannot take as many golf balls as I thought. Let's try a third flush after the tank is full. Flush 3 for the 2015 Kohler Highline Class 5, 50 golf balls. Oh! So close. Looks like we got probably 6 or 7 golf balls left. Let's see if the last flush can take it that much. Flush 4, I'm going to use half a tank. So, I think both toilets took 4 flushes, but I'm going to say the Champion 4 is the winner of golf balls. Well, that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy this toilet battle video of these toilets with large trapways. If you'd like to see more toilet battle videos, check out this playlist and see what toilets to compare of others. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Please like and comment and subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Bye. Did not siphon, but oh well.